A newly released federal climate report suggests it's extremely likely that rising temperatures are caused by humans. Hundreds of scientists from more than a dozen federal agencies assessed more than 1,000 studies to produce the report. The Trump administration did not object to its release, even though some of its members have cast doubt on scientific links between humans and climate change. Andrea McGimsey is a global warming solutions director for Environment America, and she joins me now. So, Andrea, the report says climate change is mainly caused by humans. Elaborate on that for us.
Sure. Well, this study that came out, the scientists are telling us that human beings are causing global warming, and that's happening because we're burning dangerous fuels like oil, gas, and coal. And we need to transition to cleaner forms of energy like the sun and the wind that's out here with me today.
And so what are some of the consequences, Andrea, from climate change?
Well, 2017 has really shown us the consequences. For example, we had a really extreme storm, Hurricane Harvey, down in the Houston area. And the extreme rains that happened flooded the city, released toxins from factories. It's been a very difficult situation there. Another example is the wildfires that are happening. The state of Montana was on fire this summer, and the air quality was so bad from the fires that little children couldn't go out and play for weeks on end. And then, of course, there was the devastation of the communities in California and Santa Rosa, where entire neighborhoods burned down. And it really impacted senior citizens, especially, who couldn't move fast enough to get out of the way of the fires. So we're seeing the consequences here and now. We used to think it was going to be our children and our grandchildren who were going to deal with the consequences, but it's happening right now.
As you know, some people, though, would argue that it is too soon to tell whether some of those events that you just spelled out were actually due to climate change. What would you say to some skeptics that would look at those events and say that it's not enough necessarily to talk about climate change being a definitive cause yet?
Well, this report from thousands of scientists, and it was vetted by the National Academy of Sciences, so these are the top scientists in our country, are saying that storms and wildfires are growing worse because there is empirical evidence that the world is getting hotter, and those are the expected consequences, and we are seeing it get worse and worse.
So when you talk about governments, what steps can they take to combat climate change?
Well, we need real climate action from all levels of government. Of course, the federal government right now is not moving, and so we're looking to the states. And there's a really good news story I want to tell you about. 9 northeastern states, from Maine down to Maryland, are working together on a partnership, and they've reduced global warming pollution by almost half since 2005. So they've shown real progress with this partnership. And now they're making the rules even stronger, and it's going to reduce global warming pollution by 30% by 2030. And what's so awesome about this story is it's bipartisan. The governors of those states, 5 of them are Republicans and 4 are Democrats. They're working together in a bipartisan fashion across state lines to deliver real progress for the constituents. And we're hoping that other states across the nation will take their lead and make real climate action happen in their states as well.
Wow, that's really interesting considering you don't hear about bipartisanship necessarily when it comes to this issue. Well, this report echoed similar points from a 2014 National Climate Assessment, and yet the debate over climate change has persisted. What do you think can be done to convince skeptical people in the public, officials, that climate change is real and needs to be taken seriously?
Well, I would point them, first of all, to the people who really know what they're talking about, which is the scientists. We need to listen to them. There is a consensus that this is happening, and they're very worried. And so, first of all, I'd say let's listen to the experts. When you go to the doctor, that's who you listen to, and we need to listen to these people. And then I think the American people, the majority understand this issue and want their leaders to act. There's been misinformation put out by special interests, and it's confused some people, but we all know, we can feel it. The downpours are getting stronger, the storms are getting stronger, the wildfires are getting stronger, and people are worried. And we need to talk with our elected officials and let them know that this really is an issue that we are concerned about and that we're expecting them to move on.
All right, Andrea McGimsey, thank you so much, Andrea, for taking the time to talk with us. Really appreciate it.